Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, guys. It is Thursday Night Racing, and I have a very special friend here this evening. Stevie, back in the commentary box with us. How you doing?
Oh, what's in you, Bill?
So, something a little bit different from what you're used to. Normally you jump on the console racing with us, but here you are commentating the final round, round number 6 of our British season here at Kyalami for this last race. And man, oh man, the points are absolutely incredible. Very, very close here this evening.
Yeah, I believe it. It's down to the top 3 runners that can take the title. So yeah, what a track. Kyalami, one of my favorites. Any because it's a home circuit. But yes, actually dying to see what are the guys going to be doing here tonight. So yeah, it's I don't have much of a favorite driver rooting for. It's like a wait and see who performs on the night.
And I can tell you something, it is definitely going to be between Flip van Zyl and Paul Fencer here this evening. Flip currently ahead, tied on points, and that is with Sean Loureiro, who unfortunately not here this evening. That's due to him having some issues with his load shedding schedule. But look, it's still going to be extremely interesting. Paul Fencer currently has put down the fastest time. But then we've got a newcomer that has joined us here this evening. When I say newcomer, we're talking about Desmond Pullen, who's now joined us from LNR. We then have got Ruan. Ruan, we've seen him racing with us, so that's Ruan Haneke. Also, Lunatic Racing, car number 69, we've seen him performing. Wayne Bond, he's here this evening, currently in 4th place, with Memo Veronis up in 5th, but we do hear some cars currently on track. So that is Etienne 771 for the LT Racing Bulldog Academy. And every time I see that Bulldog man on the back of the car, it just makes me smile. The person that we are definitely going to be waiting for to get out onto track, there's still 7.5 minutes left of this qualifying, and that is Flip van Zyl. Hopefully he finds himself higher up the order. We then have Robert Stoltz racing for BMW Sim Racing, his teammate in crime. Tyler Scott, unfortunately, not here this evening. Then we've got AD Bond for Orion Shopfitters. He's in 8th place, looking to go and support his teammate Wayne higher up the order. Michael Mulcair, he's here, nothing but Apex car number 1, hopefully to get himself further up. Now, a name that we have seen before in the SARCO ranks, but that was on console, and that was on ACC, is Sean Stratham. We normally would see him in a yellow Ferrari. Sean driving in a Honda here. And I kind of seeing a bit of a trend here, if I'm not mistaken, is I'm seeing Honda, BMW, Honda, and then right at the bottom we've got Niall Bullion, who's now joined us. He was worried that he wouldn't be able to get home in time in the UK in the snow, but it seems that he has joined us. He is the lonesome Porsche this evening. Michael Struvic, we've seen this Honda flying around here for nothing but Apex, making his battles in the midfield absolutely incredible. And then now down at the bottom in that Porsche, we did have Johan VDV in a Porsche. Johan not racing this evening. So the man we are waiting for is Flip van Zyl. No laps put down just yet, and nor has Sean Stratham there in the 394 Honda. So it is going to be very, very close. But you can see Paul down to Michael Struvic, 0.8 of a second is the gap there. Just under 5.5 minutes left of qualifying. Stevie, Kyalami, you said it's your favorite track.
Yeah.
Which car, if we were saying, Stevie, you need to jump into a car, you're going to be racing, which car are you taking?
think I'll go McLaren, eh?
Very interesting choice. So there is a McLaren that races with us. Tyler Humphreys not here this evening. But Tyler has a very, very bright pink.
So you can't miss him.
So you definitely can't miss him. And not only that, 777 is the number, so you definitely see that coming.
No, definitely. Yeah, no, I think the McLaren. I've driven the McLaren. It goes well on the track, especially if you've got the right setup. But with ACC, you just need to practice and get the right setup for your car. All cars are quite quick here. So yeah, it's just about practicing, putting in the laps. And as we see, 4 points today doing a 141.9. So yeah, it's some quick times on the track here.
Yeah, most definitely. But I'm still, I don't know what it is, but I have this anxious feeling that Sean Stradom and Flip and Sail have not done a lap yet. So I'm just hoping that there aren't any issues and we are able to get going. Just seen Jason Null has approved of this. Jason Null, thank you very, very much. And there we go. Tyler Humphreys saying, how's it, Dylan? So he is on the stream. So obviously something going down there. Jason Null joining us on Facebook saying, good evening. Jason, how's it? Jason saying it's a BMW fest. And there, Tyler, exactly that. Say, don't forget my McLaren, lol. Pink all up in your mirror, yo. Or all up in your mirror. So, yes. Alright, so we're coming to the point now where there is only 3 minutes left of qualifying. Something still doesn't feel right as why Sean and Flip have not going out. We saw Neil going out, and on my race control I see that he has clocked in a lap, which means he would have crossed the start-finish line.
Yeah.
But no lap for Flip van Zyl and Sean Stradom, so very, very strange that indeed.
Unless they're just playing mind games right now.
Yeah, but look, you still have to get a lap in, and you still got to go and have a go. Because currently, as the stands, Paul Fento has just about wrapped up this championship without Flip qualifying and getting himself up to try and get himself through the total of 11 drivers. That's very, very interesting.
Listen, there is no winners until you cross that finish line.
100%.
You could put just that little bit less fuel in, and you think you've got your calculations right, and you could mess that whole race up by just putting a liter less fuel. So, yeah, the guys have got to watch out for that. The race is not won until it's won.
So listen, my Jakes. See, I just say his name, and you already know exactly what I'm saying.
No, we know that. We know Jake's quite well.
And Jakes would always say, how much liters? 12 laps, my Jakes. And then what happens? How many times? I think it's been 3 times that he ran out of fuel across some of the SARCO series that we have done.
Man, yeah, I remember that. I think it was the very first time that we actually played ACC. And I think it was on Kyalami also.
Quite possibly. But what I do remember is he's done it twice at Long Beach.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I guess you can't teach old dogs new tricks. I'll probably get a phone call from him just now.
Yeah, let me just check. Oh, sorry, Jakes, my phone's on silent. I can't see your phone call. Alright guys, so 30 seconds left of qualifying while we're talking a whole bunch of coconuts. Tyler just confirming that he got some load shedding all up in his face, yo. Is that we are going to be going, this is the last round of our British series, and yes, I know we're at Kyalami. The reason being is there are only 5 British tracks, but I kind of kept this in the same time zone technically as us. And at least we give some of our drivers a home advantage. But does it become a home advantage if everybody has the home advantage?
Yeah.
So that is qualifying. So Paul Fencer out in front with Desmond, then Ruan, Michael, Wayne, Etienne, Agamemnon, Robert, Adrian Bond, Michael Nokia, Sean Stradham, Flip Vincel, and Niall. So I kept calling him Neil, but what he said was saying that it's Niall. I'm like, So once again, me botching up people's names.
So it's not Neil.
Apparently it's Niall, but we'll come to the bottom of it. So just checking those, comments coming in. Eli Vigara, when are you gonna come and join us? He's like 141. You're slow, bro. Yeah, he says he's got jokes, coconuts. There we go.
30 seconds.
Keep forgetting I need to go drive. There we go. Tyler saying sneak peek on tracks for next season. We may never know. It's too soon to give that kind of stuff away. Hey, Stephen, what do you think?
No, way too soon for that.
We've also got a newcomer. Haven't seen the messy crafter, but he's saying go kick a star is Ruan. So if the messy crafter, you had said go kick some coconuts, we would have known exactly what you were saying.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So ladies and gentlemen, just so that you know what's happening, is that you'll see the guys will approach the line in the assisted formation lap. They then cross the line, they get the green light. But here at SARCO we like to keep things real. So then we go into a full manual formation lap. And what that does is, all it does is just raises that anxiety, makes you just feel that tension a little bit more, but only because we like getting the drivers into a single file, because what that does is it limits us from having crashes into turn 1 and more racing into turn 1. And since we've adopted this this way, I must say our T1 incidents really have dropped quite dramatically.
Yeah, no, it is. Just to bring up a weird fact here, did you see the first 4 cars are Hondas?
That is correct.
So I think the BMs need to pick up their socks a bit.
Not only that, is that I know that Sean Stradham should actually be at the top there, if not number 1. Definitely there and thereabouts. So it's basically a Honda trumping the BMWs, and that's only because the last balance of performance that they did, I reckon they completely ruined the BMW.
Oh no. So yeah, okay, that explains a lot.
So we'll just have to see what happens in the upcoming balance of performance. But yes, I must say Kyalami is definitely one of the nicest tracks to race on. Lots of overtaking opportunity. You're able to have a go down into turn number 2 down at Crowthorne, and if you get it right, you can get up on the inside going through Sunset. Clubhouse is always an interesting one if you're going around the outside. The S's is pretty much single file, but having a late dive here at Leerkop, where the guys are currently going through now. Down the mine shaft, definitely into turn number 13. There's always an opportunity down there. Through Cheetah, I'd say side by side doesn't work unless you want to land up on the wall just under the commentary box. And then turn number 16, not really an overtaking place there, but setting yourself up for Crowthorne again. So lots of racing that can happen.
Yeah, well, let's see. I see look at the green Mamba colors there on the beamer. Is there someone telling that we got a green Mamba on the track?
So as you can see, that is the Bulldog Academy car with the green. So here we go. Paul Fencer approaching the start-finish line. So that's it now. Crossing the start-finish line, and we are race here at Kyalami, round number 6. In our British season. Rian Oosthuizen, lekker. Rian Oosthuizen has approved of this. Thank you, Rian, for joining in. But so far so good. You see into turn number 1 we are racing with no incidents. And the man out in front, Mr. Paul Fencer, in his Eleanor expressly slow. Can't say is really slow in that Honda at this point. But does have this this chain of Hondas behind him. And it does look like the Hondas are starting to create just a little bit of gap between themselves and the BMWs.
Oh yeah, we've raced against Paul Fencer, so he's not a pushover. He will make you work for that position. So yeah, the other drivers haven't really raced against many of them. But as we're looking there, who is that?
So that's Desmond having a look on the outside, going up into Leeuwkop. But Paul, I will say, not really a wily old fox, but a very educated driver in terms of where you can put the car, just holding that inside line and forcing Desmond to go around the outside.
Yeah, I think he was just having a bit of a look there to see, just catch him a bit off on guard, maybe throwing him off on a breaking point. But yeah, that was a bit wild through there.
Well, you can see that that was definitely not what he wanted to do.
No.
Apologies, didn't go back far enough. I panicked on the replay, that's what happened there. But now that we head back to real time, and I see, you know what's happened here? I've now figured it out. Sean and Flip van Zyl have gone into pits to get that mandatory pit stop done and dusted.
Yes. So now they've got open track. They don't have to worry about anyone slowing them down. They can race their own race and push as hard as they want.
100%.
Smart. Because right now Paul is in the front, so he's busy running his own race there, but he's got a second gap there behind Desmond.
But it does look like the two Hondas are definitely having a race of their own there out in front. But what caught my eye is that we got Memo closing up 0.5 to the back of Etienne in the LT Bulldog Academy car there. So Memo now within half a second and really starting to put pressure on the back. We've just had Ruan Haneke, who's gone and put in the fastest lap, so 1:45.3. So still not the qualifying times that we have seen, but the guys are starting to going to find the rhythm. The cars are going to get slightly lighter, and off they're going to go. We see Ruan, he too now going into the pits, as well as Neil, getting those pits done and dusted very early on this race.
This is going to be a very, very tricky one. So let's see if Stradom and Flip van Zyl is going to work in their advantage now and do the little switcheroo here.
Because now what's happened is we got Ruan, who is currently in third place, so he's going to be exiting out of the pits. But now if we look at, here comes Sean and Flip van Zyl. But where do they come out in comparison with Ruan? So Ruan was able to stay ahead there. So Ruan has been able to keep himself ahead of Sean, and there's Flip van Zyl currently in third, further down the order, with Neil, that car number 13, he going through Crowthorne by himself now. So Tyler just saying he wishes he was there with the boys. Tyler, we wish you were here too. I must say, a grid without the pink 777 just doesn't feel the same anymore.
Yeah, we're missing that color. I think the other drivers are also missing it.
So just going back to our race leaders, and that is Paul Fencer. Paul taking a lot of the cheetah curb on the inside. We saw that the two inside wheels lifting up, having hit that curb, and using as much of that exit as possible. And I must say, when the top four go in pit, and they start slotting in behind the pack of 69, 394 and number 5. This race is most definitely going to be on. But I am looking for these type of little battles that are currently starting to develop. And that is Adrian Bond now trying to close up onto the back of Michael Nokia. So it looks like Michael was a little bit wide as he exit through barbecue. And yeah, we saw that he was most definitely wide. You see Michael getting it very, very wrong there, just clipping the curb on the exit. And when he tried to come back in, unfortunately no traction there. And it looks like Memo has got himself ahead of Etienne. So there is the Chasing Beavers car ahead of Etienne, now up into 5th place. And Etienne now dropping down the order into 6th. So what I have realized is that what's happening is, as we have our own server and we're managing our own server on our own, it seems like the mandatory pit stops have not been activated.
Oh.
Because all those lines there are currently green. But we know that from Ruan down, those are the guys that have pitted already, so we'll definitely keep track. But all the drivers were told that there is a mandatory pit stop, that they had to go in. So we'll just keep an eye on that, but I honestly don't think that there will be any untowardness. So Michael unfortunately having lost that position, but there is this little comeback here from Etienne in 6th place, still trying to chase down Memo, with Memo having got himself ahead of the 771 driver.
That's a nice tight line there.
And the other thing that's happening is Sean Stradham starting to get in that striking distance of Ruan. And Flip van Zyl, 4.3 seconds, is starting to drop back just a little bit. So it does look like the Hondas are extremely strong here around Kyalami. So Sean's fastest time 1:42.1, Flip van Zyl a 1:43.2, so that's 0.9 of a difference in terms of a fastest lap.
Yeah.
And if I just look at the Hondas, 1:42.1, 1:42.1, 1:42.9, 1:42.1. The BMWs are all in the 1:43s, with Flip van Zyl the fastest with a 1:43.2. But as I say, that I see Wayne, his best lap was a 1:43.0. So none of the BMWs clocking in the 1:42s. So that definitely does show something about the cars.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So to those who are watching, let us know who you are cheering for. We do have our comments up, so we are able to see them. If you smash that like button, smash that share button, your name will come up on the screen, because we do appreciate you all. But I'm currently watching this battle, and I know that we're looking at 11th and 10th place. As Sean Dior has a big dive from the S's. He's going to set himself up going into Leerkop on the inside. And that was him being able to take advantage of Ruan just slow going through the S's, just kept that speed up, slotted it around the outside, and moved himself up into 10th place. Just that when Ruan and Sean had pitted while he was in 3rd place. So this battle is very much within that 2nd, 3rd position. So it will be very interesting once do start putting those pit stops in. But again, I just saw that Etienne had got himself within that 2nd of Memo. So while Memo had got past him, Etienne is not letting him get away.
A good little chase down.
And that is one of the greatest feelings. And that is by having a driver overtake you, yet you put in the work, start getting your rhythm back, start chasing him down, you take that position back. Man, oh man.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of drivers do is they overdrive Kyalami because it is such an easy track to overdrive.
Whoa! Big Tokyo Drift moments. And just as I was saying, Michael Strivik was starting to close down onto the back of Michael Nokia. Is that a bit of a commentator's curse there?
I don't think that was us.
I didn't say anything. All we did was put the camera on him.
No, definitely. But he put the car sideways. We just saw it.
Thank you. We'll take that. So, Michael, we are not claiming that as ours. While I understand that this does happen, we hadn't mentioned your name yet.
Exactly.
So talk about making a comeback. We've got Ruan still within the 2nd of Sean Stradom. So while Sean was able to have an almighty overtake around the outside, he is not quite getting away from Sean just yet. But man, oh man, I keep being drawn to this little battle between Etienne and Memo. The same piece of equipment, different lines, different driving styles, yet here these two are having an almighty battle. So I see that Michael has decided to go into the pits. So get that pit done and dusted. Mr. Ryan Abrams, he approves of this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you've been well. We haven't seen you for a couple of months, but always happy to have the people that we kind of know through the racing community here and there. I raced with Ryan back on, like we're talking way back on the GT. And then a little bit of project cars here and there. GT7, raced with him with the guys from I'll tell you now, from SSRL with Jason now. We saw him earlier. So back when Project Cars 1 was still a thing, we raced against Ryan.
Wow.
So Ryan has been around the block just as much as I have.
I think I just joined you at the end of
Project Cars 1. That's
Yeah.
way too much curve there, Michael. But Ruan has got himself ahead of Michael. Little flash there. Nothing but apex, but sheesh, you're not joking. That was nothing but curb there. So someone who hasn't had much of the limelight in the last couple of laps is Desmond, who's kind of stuck just under 2.5 seconds behind Paul Fenter. There's Paul Fenter just going up into Leocorp. And then Mr. Adrian Wayne Bond, apologies, 11 seconds behind there. And currently, I was going to say the fastest BMW, but Flip van Zyl has put in that 42.9. So Flip van Zyl is currently the quickest of the BMWs. But Wayne has got Mimo Veronis behind him. just in terms of that relative position. That's actually Michael Strivik that we saw. There he is there, going into turn number 13. That is the relative positions that he is currently out of place. But we also understand that once all the pit stops are done and dusted and everybody starts filtering back into their place, that is when the major battles start happening, because it's the last couple of minutes where anything can and can't go wrong.
That's when all the big boys come out.
So we have Flip Van Zyl currently down in 11th position, but he does have that pit stop done and dusted. So we've got Ruan and Sean Stratham who have already pitted, and I had to have dropped my pen right under the PC in the rig, so that's going to have to stay there. And now we see the fastest man on the track is Sean Stratham, a 1:41.7.
Sure.
Racing for Logistical Nightmare.
So right now, even quicker than Paul Fencer in qualifying.
That is correct. And that's why I said definitely feels like something's up, because Sean should be right at the top there, but I think what he wanted to do was just get himself out of the trouble and work his way through the field, and I think he's doing an absolutely sterling job there. Now Sean starting to close up onto the back of Adrian Bond now. Whoa, that was extremely close.
Yeah.
Don't think there was a touch there, and if there was, it would have been very, very slight. But now we're going to see just the exit potential of this Honda, and it just looks like it is so solid coming through the last corner there. Turn number 16, and I'm pretty sure that Sean will set him up on the inside, heading into turn number 2. And there it is. Whoa!
Just shutting that door.
Ew, that was close. And that's because we saw as Adrian goes into the second corner, just over rotates it, loses the rear, and not sure how Sean just managed to miss him there.
Yeah, only the gods know that.
So I am seeing something quite interesting, and that's now the gap between Paul Fenter and Desmond is now 15 seconds, because there's Wayne 0.8 of a second behind him. So I'm almost wondering whether Desmond had made a mistake, because Paul Fenter has got a very, very clear track in front of him without anybody threatening him. So that means that Desmond is possibly not going to be in second place once he goes in and does his pit stop. Yo, sorry, I just saw Michael Strivik's Honda in the background there, just bouncing off curbs. So Flip Van Zyl has now got himself ahead of Michael. So Flip is up into a 9th position. So still 38 minutes left of this race, and see the comment there from Ryan Abrams saying hello. Hello Ryan, welcome, welcome, welcome. Just the sound of that Porsche, man oh man. For me, out of all the cars, there's something about that Porsche that really gets my tail feathers wagging. So Porsche for me, I would say.
Yeah, you've always liked your Porsche, even since day one on PS4.
So here we go, look at that. A great move there for Sean Stratham, just slotting it up on the middle, going through Sunset. So that definitely just shows the confidence that Sean has in the car.
Okay.
So we've got Sean Lorero, who has just joined us. So Sean was tied on points with Flip Van Zyl and the championship leader going into this last round, and unfortunately plagued by load shedding, so was not able to compete. But now we've got the pit now going in for Desmond, and what this is going to do is with Desmond going in, Wayne Bond now goes into second place and Memo up into third. I'm sure he's going to be extremely happy with that.
No, definitely.
But it is when Paul Fenter goes and does his pit, is how far is Sean Stradom going to be behind him?
Behind him, yeah, that is the big question.
Because just looking now at Desmond still in the pit, so he's now dropped down behind Michael Nokia. So that just shows that the pit stop has not worked out for him, because he's going to be rejoining well down the order. And it looks like Ruan has been able to make easy work there of Adrian Bond in that Honda. Previous lap there for Ruan 145.6 and Adrian unfortunately 146.3. So 0.6 of a second, that's definitely going to get you up the order. And Michael really attacks that outside curb there coming out of Cheetah. So Wayne is currently in second place, and just behind him that is Michael Strivik in that Honda. So Michael has been lapped, but really fighting the good fight with these Honda, because he is doing very similar times in terms of the pace. 143.9 so far is his best, so that's definitely fighting within the weight of the BMWs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely believe that there is going to be a discussion within the LT Racing team to see whether the BMW is the car that they are going to be taking forward. But I can tell you now, looking at the current performance, it definitely does not look like it's going to be. So we've got Michael Nokia now, who has gone into the pits. So still to pit is Adrian, Robert, Etienne, Memo, Wayne and Paul Fenter. So Flip Van Zyl now starting to close up onto the back of the other Bond, Mr. Adrian Bond. So last lap for Adrian 146.1, for Flip Van Zyl 143.3. So Flip really is fighting hard to try and get himself higher up the order. But still time. We're just about to hit the halfway mark. That will be 30 minutes into this race. And away Adrian going into the pits. Flip will now we get past him. And not only that, but that's Neil who goes up as well. So Neil in 8th place. He is 2.1 seconds behind Flip, but this is for position. And I do think that Flip was being held up there by Adrian, because Flip did a 144.2. Neil did a 142.9. So Neil's going a second quicker than Flip at this point.
Yeah.
And man, oh man, do we just love a congested field. Because if we go here to Sean Stratham, there he is chasing down Memo. Memo currently in third place. Memo hasn't pitted, however. And it looked like the early pit strategy there for Sean was absolutely spot on.
Yeah, but he must be in his favour there.
So this is a move, Robert just holding that outside line and allowing Ruan to go past. So Robert obviously realizing that he is currently out of position. You can just see how close Sean is. Memo trying to break that toe, moving it to the inside of the track. So Memo going very defensive. So Sean will now go to the outside. Will Memo go too deep? Just able to hang on there. So fighting for position, but we have seen Sean have a go on the inside through Clubhouse. Wasn't Clubhouse, through Sunset, which is where they're going to be going now. But Memo holding his line. We're not giving Sean any opportunity. Sean now banging to the outside. He's going to try to go around the outside there. Perhaps the cut back. Memo's a little wide. Just touching the grass. Coming through Clubhouse now through the S's. And the Honda just looks so hooked up. You can see how much speed he can on the inside. And Sean eventually gets that move done. And not much there for Memo to do. But here we go. It is showtime, Stephen. Because into the pits goes Mr. Paul Fenter, the race leader. And Sean Stratham now going into turn number 13. Where is Paul? So Paul is now on the move. Wayne Bond just is now going into the pits. So Paul Fenter on the way out, coming.
Yeah.
There goes Sean. So Sean only now crossing the start finish line. So Paul has been able to get out in front.
Now this is race on.
So this is race on now for Paul Fenter and Sean with a couple of minutes left to go. Wayne now starting to drop down the order. So he was in third place. Just look at that. Down to 8th because of the pits and because of the guys that have pitted early.
Yeah. And not forgetting Clips as hell was stunned last if I was correct. He's now into 6th place.
100%. So Flip van Zyl now has got Robert Stoltz in his sights within half a second. But look at this. It is Neil who's now 1.3 seconds behind him.
He's right there in the bumper. Ooh.
Yeah, I thought that Robert was going to lose that rear there. But Robert now is going to have both Flip and Niall to contend with. And Flip's going to need to make quick work here of Robert. Only because that Porsche is screaming up on his back. Will there be a late dive into Leo Kopp? Yes, there is. Robert sees him coming. So Robert runs very wide, and that now allows both the BMW and the Porsche to come through. Now down the mine shaft, Flip is going to have this Porsche chasing him down with a vengeance. So it definitely is becoming an absolute nail biter here this evening. Round number 6.
This Porsche gets his corner right. He could be right up on his bumper for an overtake. Looks a little too far back. Oh, depending well.
Flip going very defensive, showing his intention to not want to let this position go. now up into barbecue. And it is a race on. You can see Flip just showing his intention, ready, moving over to the right hand side a lot later. Michael Struvic, 30-second stop-go penalty there for him. So he is now in the pits taking that penalty. So a spin there for Desmond. Just saw the yellow flag come up, which got my attention. But it does look like Flip has now been able to give himself a little bit of breathing room again. So we know that Memo is going to need to pit, and there he goes, getting himself in the pit. So that will now drop him down, which now is going to promote Ruan up into 4th place, and Ruan up into 3rd, and Flip Van Zyl up into 5th. So looking at the comparison of the last laps, Flip Van Zyl 143.6, Neil 143.9. So Flip getting 0.3 of a second on him that time round. Sean Stradham still currently the fastest on the track and clocking 0.6 of a second quicker now than Paul Venter with 25 minutes left to go.
Sure.
Sean can definitely close down. So seeing we now have Robert going into the pits, so just Etienne and Adrian to go. Then we would have completed the full round of pit stops. So that is Darren in the pits. I'm not too sure. Pretty sure his car wasn't that color, because his car was orange and all of a sudden it's not. So very strange.
Yeah.
Stop and go penalty for Robert Stoltz. That could only mean speeding in the pit stops, guys, not practicing that entry. And that is something that we always practice, and that is to make sure that when you're approaching the pit is that you stopped within the 50 kilometers an hour. Pit limiter is on. So
this is actually getting closer.
So that 0.3 of a second that Flip had on Neil the last time, it has just been brought back. Neil has pulled that back because that's a 42.9 for Flip, 42.6 for Neil.
Looks like the Porsche is doing quite well in the first half of the track, but it comes to that last little bit where he's busy losing out.
It does look like the BMW is better through this rhythm section, but then as soon as it's on the straighter, wide open stuff, that's where the Porsche is coming back. So Adrian now up into 9th place. Paul now goes up into 10th. Natasha Presses join us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, good evening. We hope you're well. Thank you very much for joining us. So Robert going in to serve his stop and go penalty, but the action is currently here, and this is the battle for 5th and 4th place. Is as Member pits, he now goes down into 6th position. So Robert now able to clear that pit stop, and he's gonna come out in the thick of things. But Flip really hanging on to this pressure really well. Neil looking for his opportunity. He's not forcing the issue. He's driving a very, very smart race. And Flip does have 5.5 seconds to catch up on Ruan, who is in third place. I just wanted to jump to this view quickly. I thought I would have caught him. But that is currently the second place driver, so Sean Stradom. And we just can't see the yellow fella. It's like almost like 0.2 of a second is the difference between us being able to see him in the camera. But we should see him now. There we go.
Yeah.
So that is first and second. Okay, that didn't help me either.
No.
Thought I'd be clever, but still have to figure out what's going to be happening here. Neil not letting this BMW get away. Just over 20 minutes left of this race, and I realized I had my foot on my plug. That could have very easily turned off the entire system.
Yes.
And another little battle that's starting to unravel here, and this is Memo versus Wayne. So Memo racing for Chasing Beavers. He has done his pit stop, so this is for a dead net position here. But I don't know.
Beamer.
Yes, he is. So he did join the season in the BMW. This is Memo and his teammate Vaughan Nell in the TVT. They finished higher than myself and Flip van Sale. And he reminded me this morning. So Memo has definitely come a long way. And I'm sure, Stephen, as you can imagine, how that conversation went down.
Yes, I can imagine.
But Memo's just, found his groove here on a sets of course on the PC League. And just his performance is showing currently in 6th place. So it really is enjoying his time with us. So also driving very, very smartly, getting his car into the middle, forcing Wayne to go around the outside, really having to be extremely tactical of how he forces this error. But then we're doing extremely well currently. And again, these two, so crossing the line, and it is Flip van Sale, 143.5, Neil, 143.8. So it's this cat and mouse of 0.3 every single lap now.
Yeah.
No, so we got Desmond who said that he lagged out FFFFF. Use the coconut icon and we know exactly what's going on. So Desmond, really unfortunate to see that. And we couldn't figure out why all of a sudden your car was orange and then it went to one of the default settings. But now that all makes sense. But thanks so much for joining us. We hope to see you in the upcoming season. So I was going to say Sean Stradom closing up on to Paul Fenter, but that gap only 3.7 seconds. And Sean was as 1/10 slower than Paul Fenter that time round.
Oh, wow.
So still this battle between Wayne Bond and Agamemnon Veronis, and he hits the curb, unsettles. Has he caught it? He has indeed. Holy cow. That was close. You can just see they can just see their car going sideways, and he just managing to catch it there. So absolutely crazy nail biting stuff there. So Neil
Oh,
and
oh,
Flip
oh,
across the line. You're not going to believe this, but Neil has got the 0.3 back on Flip. So 143.2 for Flip, 143.5 for Flip, 143.2 for Neil. And it just shows you how close these two currently are, trading
Oh,
with
yeah.
0.3 every single lap. Brandon Deutsch dos Santos, welcome. Brandon has liked this. Thank you, Brandon. So awesome that you've come to see what's happening here this evening on the Thursday night PC ACC. Neil just showing his intention before going down the S's. And I've noticed something here.
What have you noticed?
This gap between Paul
Ooh,
and
yeah,
Sean,
it comes
all
down.
of a sudden there's been a second that has been acquired there by Sean. And crossing the line, there we go, 143.5 for Paul Fenter, 142.1. So 144.0, 143.9 for Neil. So again, pace slightly slower. It looks like Flip just wasn't able to get that car settled when he went up through the UXK sweep. And we saw at the bottom of the screen that is Ruan that has gone past. So Ruan kind of just coasting here in third place. Sarah Bond saying, go Wayne. Hello Sarah, how are you this evening? So awesome to see you joining us. And I'm pretty sure Wayne is appreciating the support. But he is currently stuck behind Memo, car number 8. And these two trading lap times, lap after lap. And I'm sure Wayne was going to be really looking for an opportunity to get ahead of Memo. But Memo really driving out of his socks out this evening. Holding his own. 14 minutes left to go. And Stephen, what do you think about this race so far?
It is nail biting because between watching these two and then you're watching Paul Fenter and straight on, yeah, this it's only getting interesting every time they take a corner, and it's still like 13 and a half minutes of racing. So yeah, it's wait until the end.
So let's just see what the difference in lap times are now as they cross the line. So that is Flip 144.0, Neil 144.2. But here we go. 1.5 seconds is the gap now. Sean Stratham closing up on Paul Fenter. I must say, since Wayne got himself ahead of Etienne, Etienne's also now just kind of slotted himself in between some drivers with some clean air. He can get himself going in 8th. Adrian in 9th place. Oh, what was that? All of a sudden I just heard a car. It just sounded like it was on the side of the road.
Oh, jeez.
Roberts in 10th, having done his 2 pit entries and whatnot, and his stop and go. Michael in 11th place, and then other Michael Struvic down in 12th. And then we saw Darren saying that he lagged out. Very unfortunate there. So here we go. 1 second is the gap between Sean and Paul Fenter for the win here at Kyalami with 12 minutes left to go. But hold on. Something has happened here because Ruan is down in 5th place. Flip van Sale is up into 3rd and 1.2 seconds clear of Neil.
What happened?
I'm going to try something here. Let's just see. No, it's not showing. just trying to see if this is where... Okay, so this looks like this was where Ruin was still in third place. Because I have hit a little 30 seconds back. I'm almost thinking he comes off here a cheater. That would be the only way to explain it. No, so okay, so clearly we've missed it there.
Yeah.
But it's showing that Ruin did a 158.6, so definitely something something happened there.
Yeah.
But this is now the battle for first place. Sean Stradham within 0.2 of a second.
And this is the decider.
So the thing is that if Flip finishes in this position, he will be the champion, provided, or even if Paul Fenter wins, all Flip needed was a third and higher, and he would have secured that place because he has a 17-point advantage.
Advantage, yes.
So if Sean gets ahead of Paul Fenter and Flip stays here, Flip will become the champion.
Oh. So literally he just needs to
So Flip
keep a clean race.
needs to just keep it on the track. Because now we can see that gap 1.2 seconds between Neil and Flip van Zyl in the BMW. But it looks like Neil is really pushing all the way to the end here. And here we've got Ruan down in 5th place, so he was comfortably in 3rd. So he is going quicker than the two ahead of him. But I think it's going to be a little too late, she wrote there. 9 minutes. It is a sprint race now to the end. And Sean still right on the back of Paul Fenter.
Looks like Paul Fenter found a bit of a gap there.
So that last lap, Paul Fenter did a 42.6, Sean did a 43.2. But Sean now getting closer back to that 1 second. And not only that is Neil. That 1 second gap is approaching. It looks like Neil goes a little bit too hot into turn number 2. So that's going to help Flip van Zyl just open up a gap ever so slightly. So that was 1.9 seconds as they went into Crowthorne. It's now sitting at 1.1 seconds. So Neil once again in striking distance of Flip van Zyl in the BMW. But can Sean Stradham help Flip van Zyl out here? Because it does look like while Sean is chasing down Paul, in terms of the pace he was running earlier, this pace has dropped slightly.
Yeah.
Was that a little exit mistake by Paul Fenter? Because now within half a second. And as I say that, this is Neil now getting within 1 second of Flip van Zyl. Just under 7 minutes left to go of this race. So 4 laps. 4 laps is all that's left. And unfortunately that overtake has happened. Wayne Bond has got himself ahead of Memo, so Memo now down in 7th position, but has really fought with all his might there and held Wayne back for a good couple of laps.
Yeah.
So Sean still pushing for that first place. Neil wide through Sunset. That's going to help Flip. And that's the one thing I've noticed about Flip, is that the lines that he takes, he is just so consistent. But Neil coming back. So we've got some confirmation coming here from Tyler Humphrey saying Ruin spun at the S's. So thank you for that insight there, Tyler. So Ruin fortunately struggling with the pressures. They were too low. So not being able to get that grip. So here we go. Porsche once again on the back of the BMW. 5 minutes left of this race. This is the decider. So Flip will show his intent to block the inside, then come back to the outside into the braking zone to open up the corner. Neil having to just slot in behind through this part of the track. It isn't really an overtaking spot there. But this is all pressure on Flip van Zyl as Neil is bringing it to him.
Taking a look.
Neil, yeah, having a look, just showing the nose coming through the S's. And the thing is, what I want to do is I want to open my document where I've got all the points sitting. But I'm too scared that I open stuff and I overload my PC. It's just so hectic. I don't want to touch anything at this moment. Because look at this. This is now still the battle for first and second place. Dave is shouting, "Come on, Neil." Well, Tyler, this is the thing, is that when we have done the calculations, if it stays where it is and Paul finishes ahead and Flip van Zyl finishes in third, Flip van Zyl still becomes the champion.
Yeah.
If Flip comes fourth and Paul Venter is in first, but Paul made a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely made a mistake there.
No, I wanted to see it.
It's a little bit hard into
Now
the
I'm
corner.
panicking, I'm not going to see it. So here we go. Goes the rear, let's go. Big sideways moment there for Paul, which now puts Sean Stradom out in front. So Michael Struvic getting out of the way. He's knowing that there's a battle here. 2.5 minutes left. So I think even if Paul finishes second and Flip drops down to fourth, I still think Flip has got enough to win the championship because there's 17 points. But I'm too scared to open up the document, guys. I promise you, once the race is done and we're not streaming off the race because I'm doing everything. So it is all very, very tense in terms of what my machine is doing. And the thing's running at like 96, 97%. Paul Venter is ahead once again.
Oh wow.
Ah, okay.
Just took a tighter line. Yeah.
So now everything is on Flip Van Sale to make sure he stays ahead of Neil, because we'll be going into the last lap. So this is Paul Fencer now going into turn number 1. So we are still on replay mode. So Neil has got himself ahead of Flip Van Sale.
Oh wow.
So Flip now down into 4th place. Oh, Flip just over rotating the rear there.
Oh. Not one mistake done until the last lap.
So this will be the final lap. So Paul Fencer currently going through the sunset. That's strange.
What's wrong?
The document I opened doesn't have the points in, which means that it's on the hard drive. So I'll have to do the calculations. So that is Paul Fencer coming through to take the win there. Sean Stradom in 2nd. And an incredibly hard fought 3rd place there for Neil.
Definitely. Determined all about that.
So Flip Van Sale coming home in 4th place. Then Ruan up into 3rd. I'm sure he will be not happy with the 5th, but definitely coming back and still getting that good result.
No, definitely. I think just to finish the race is an achievement for most drivers.
So Wayne Bond now coming in through turn number 16. Then Etienne will finish in... oh, what's happening here?
Sounds like someone jumped.
Yeah, I think it's guys just jumping out of the lobby. But we'll just have to just go back on the stream just to get the final results here. But I think that puts Memo 7th, Adrian Bond 8th, Robert Stoltz 9th, then Michael Nokia, Michael Strivik in terms of those positions.
Green light, go, go, go.
Okay, let's just close this off and just see if we can't get our podium winners.
Well, I'm here.
There we go.
more shots.
Nope, that's not what I was trying to achieve. That's what I was trying to do.
Okay, hold on. Let me. I'll help you here, Dylan. Let me be nice. Let me switch from the PC to my phone. Then you can see my face.
So guys, the points that I had ready to go in my little document were not saved because it's saved on here, and I didn't want to plug this in while the stream was up, just in case. So we will do a final tally of the points once it's done. But let's see if Mr. Flip Mansell has joined us. Flip.
Hey, Dylan.
Great strategy. But it definitely looks like the BMW struggled on pace against not only the Porsche but also the Hondas here.
Yeah, I know for sure. It was definitely part of the strategy. I think looking at the entries today, I decided, listen, if you want to be a champion, you need to show that you're a champion. If you're a champion, you can beat anybody at any stage on any day. So I decided I wanted to start last, and if I can't get 3, then I'm not worth it of being the SARCO champion this season. So almost worked out.
An absolutely great drive, and you kept. So Paul, I keep saying Neil. You said Niall. Is it Neil? Is it Niall?
It's Niall.
Okay. Sorry, Niall. Neil. So I think if I say it like that, I've covered all my bases. But you know, the absolutely great race there, Flip, between yourself and him, and for like close on 10 laps, it was he gives you 0.3, you take it back, and then so that's how it went. And it looked like just pushing a little bit too hard in the end there, the rear just wasn't hooking up.
Yeah, I made a small mistake into crocodiles, but yeah, all ups to Neil. Niall.
Niall. Gotta say it like that. Let's go to you, Paul. So leading from the start, and Sean reeled you in. Big mistake there for you going through Sunset. Sean managed to get ahead there, and you managed to have a very easy overtake back into turn number 16.
Yeah, look, went into Sunset, and the rear I lost the rear. I think I was full opposite lock going in there, and just made sure to save it. And then teammate, as teammates are, he by mistake ran wide into final corner, and I just ducked beneath and took back first place there, and just ran at line of stern to get it to the end there.
No, 100%. So, like I mentioned, I actually don't know who the final champion is, but we will plug in the points. It's just I only have 2 minutes left, and then I have load shedding, so we'll take it to my laptop. But guys, listen, we said that it was going to come down to the end there. It's exactly what happened. An absolutely a great race there. So exciting through the entire field. I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I want to thank NAG for the sponsors of the local servers. It really has just changed the racing. We can just see how good the quality is. To MSR for the support in terms of some of the hardware that we've got coming. Big thank you to them and supporting our cause here. To Schick, and we will be getting you some of those Schick hampers. And to the drivers, thank you to all of those that raced. We hope to see more of you and all of you in the new season. And to my ad hoc commentator, Stevie, hoping to see you on a Thursday more often. Who knows? Maybe even racing.
Yeah, we're waiting.
All right, guys.
So hopefully soon.
We're going to be off for about 2 weeks just in terms of getting the next season up and running. Guys, and all I can say until then, keep practicing, keep racing.